Everybody, welcome to another episode of Windshield Time, the podcast where we help you use your windshield time to turn learning into earning. Windshield Time is, of course, brought to you by Service Excellence. I am the host, Chris Elmore. Today's a very special episode, or two or three. We're not joined by another co-host today. We are joined by none other than the one and only original Joe Bates from Northern Air and Plumbing and Electrical and Roofing and Car Washing and Babysitting and Grass Mowing up in Aiken, Minnesota. So, we're going to peek behind the curtain. Stay tuned. Yeah. How do you feel about being here, Joe?
It's exciting. Yeah.
This is your excited face?
This is my excited face. Yeah.
Okay.
I try to keep it even keel. You know, I don't like to show too many raw emotions.
Because it's so intense?
Well, because I don't like to ever display any sign for any. I don't ever like to give anybody an idea of any sense of weakness. So if I just keep it the same all the time, you don't really know where to.
So does that mean you look weak all the time or strong all the time? You never thought about that, have you?
Yeah, I think I look strong all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess if I didn't think I was strong, that would be a weakness.
So let's tell people how it happened that we're together here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I'm going to tell it from my perspective. Okay.
Sure.
So Joe and I meet. I work with Joe on a weekly basis, Tuesdays at 10. And then I do some tech training with your guys Thursdays at 8 a.m., all that Central Time. So this Tuesday, I had a session from 8 to 9. I got done, and I thought, okay, well, I got about an hour before me and Joe get on. And I work from home on Tuesday, so I leave my home office and go into the kitchen to get a cup of coffee, and I get a text. No meeting. I'm out of town. So I thought, okay, I thought we were friends, Joe. So I was like, okay, he's out of town. He just forgot to tell me or whatever. And I think I texted you back something like, okay, everything okay, question mark, and I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
And not only did you forget to tell me that you were just out of town anywhere and wouldn't make the meeting, you neglected to tell me you were 10 miles from me at that moment in time at the Wizard Academy.
Yeah.
Near Austin.
Right.
I literally drive within a mile of the Wizard Academy on my way to this office.
We have to remember I'm in Minnesota, and everything I know about Texas is literally that it's big.
Okay, fair enough.
So I didn't know what.
Fair enough.
I don't even know where I'm at really when we got here because we were at this Wizard Academy, and we landed in an airport, and we go to the compound there for their
Call
facility.
it a campus.
The campus.
You're in Texas. You got to be careful how you select your words.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you there. So we're at the campus.
The campus, not the compound.
And I have no idea because, like I said, Texas is big, so I don't know if I'm 5 miles or 500 miles away from anybody. So
that's okay.
Yeah, so
doesn't
I'm
matter
sorry.
how it happened. It happened.
Yeah, and if I could go back, I would have remembered.
Probably wouldn't remember.
Yeah, probably.
But that's okay. I love the self-awareness and honesty.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, no, I'm glad you're here. You may not know this, but I'm going to say, yeah, you're the first. You're the first business owner that I've had on where we're going to talk about an owner's perspective on technicians. I've had Jesse Olson on here from the Happy Outlet, but we talk more in-home sales and service than really an owner's perspective. So I have some questions for you. You don't know what the questions are that I'm going to ask you, so we're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to ask you the questions. We'll just have a conversation about it. Fair. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And you have moral support here because your wife, Melissa, is sitting outside the studio. Yes. And like I said, I do not let the fact that she's not mic'd, or even Alex, because anybody who listens knows I talk to Alex sometimes, and I hear him, but you guys don't hear him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Melissa, how are you? She said she's awesome.
She is awesome.
She is awesome, yes. We had a nice lunch, and we learned
Delicious.
about each other.
Yeah.
So that's good. So what do you think is going to happen? I've told you a little bit. What do you think is going to happen?
I think you're going to ask me some questions that I'm going to have a hard time coming up with an answer for, and I'm going to say, "Hey, honey, can you come in here and help me with these answers?"
Okay.
No, I mean, that might actually be true, but
Well, let's see.
I think we're going to have a good conversation is what.
Okay, I got to ask you this question first. I ask this for everybody that comes on new. Okay. Somehow, mysteriously, you were transported to a remote, uninhabited island in the South Pacific. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's no other people there. You have unlimited water and unlimited staple food. Okay? So you will be well fed. May not be the greatest stuff, but it's going to keep you alive, and you're going to have plenty of water to drink. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to ask you for 3 more things. Okay? What book would you take? What album would you take? And what bottle would you take? Something to drink other than water. But I'm going to ask you one at a time, okay? Let's start with the book. And you can't say the Bible because, as everyone knows, the Gideons have been everywhere. And in the little bedside table on this remote deserted island, a Bible has been placed by the Gideons in the drawer. Okay? So you have a Bible, unlimited water, unlimited staple food. It may not be creme brulee and steak, but you can live on it.
And we're in the South Pacific.
Sure. So, what book?
The book. I think the book would have to be Into the Sea.
Okay. What's it about?
It's kind of the origin story of Moby Dick.
Okay.
But these guys were out in the Pacific hunting whales,
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to get back to the mainland. So if I'm stuck on a remote island in the
Oh, so
South
it's more
Pacific,
like a how-to book.
it's a how-to book.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean,
that's good.
Yeah. It's not a great how-to, but it's a how-to. So
Okay. Now
look at it from
next, album.
album.
This is important. This will say a lot about you.
Oh, put me on the spot on this one.
Melissa's probably going, I know what it
She
is. I know what it
does.
is. Melissa, what album would it be? Appetite for Destruction?
Uh,
Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, I think is the one she's talking about.
yeah.
Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise
Sweet
City,
Yep.
Welcome to the Jungle.
I would. In the reason being, she's not there with me, right? On
That's
the
right.
island.
Uh-huh.
And Sweet Child of Mine, all those songs, identify with her. So it would remind me of my wife.
You're so sweet, Joe.
Hey.
You're the sweetest person we've ever had on here, too.
Hey, got to be.
You're so sweet.
gotta
Okay.
be something.
All right. So tracks so far. Into the Sea, how-to on how to survive and get back to the mainland. We got Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
And a bottle.
I can see the album cover for that. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and you got a bottle of something. And just so we're clear, Joe is from that mysterious land up north where they call it pop. It's not soda, it's pop.
I would say at this point, where I'm at with things right now, I would say it would have to be can it be a can or does it have to be a bottle?
I mean, it can be a can.
I'd say right now, because we have plenty of water, but we may or may not have coffee, so I'd say it'd have to be like a Red Bull.
Okay, a Red Bull.
Yeah.
So, Into the Sea, Appetite for Destruction, and a Red Bull.
Red Bull.
You get one bonus. Okay? On this island, there's a DVD player. It's one of those little TVs with a DVD built into it. What movie would you take?
Rocky.
Okay, Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
You realize you've just dated yourself all over. Right? I don't need to ask. Nobody needs to ask how old you are because they know now.
Yeah, I suppose.
So tell us about your business. Tell us about Northern Air. What is it? Northern Air and Plumbing?
Northern Air, plumbing, heating, electrical.
Gotcha. So we do all three trades.
Correct.
Okay. And how much in sales did you do in 2025?
4.2 million.
4.2. And you did in Aiken, Minnesota. Is it Aitken?
Aitken, Minnesota. Aitkin.
So in that area, a $4.2 million business, is that like a $20 million business if it's in Dallas?
Honestly.
Are you the biggest?
I'd say we are in our market. We're in the top, four companies in the area, but our area is pretty wide. So in our town, as far as a service company is concerned, I'd say we're the biggest service company specific in our town.
Gotcha. Okay. And how long have you been in business?
Well, Northern Air has been in business since 1991. I partnered with one of the owners in 2016 and bought them out in 2019. So I've had full ownership since 2019.
Okay, but you've been associated with them since
2016 is when we partnered up.
Okay, gotcha. And so you're a plumber, is that right?
Correct.
And you decided to become a plumber at what time in life?
My in-laws said they had a place in Aiken. We were living in Aurora, Illinois, and they said we could have a spot in a family home that was not really being used much and needed some work. So they said, "Hey, you and your wife, Melissa, was her parents, and we had two little ones at the time, so we could move up if we wanted to fix up the house. We wouldn't have to pay rent. I heard no rent and headed up to Minnesota for vacation one summer and just started applying at different plumbing shops. I had never done plumbing.
Why plumbing?
Well, the area's industry was building kind of. It was kind of during the boom of the late 90s, early 2000s. So I knew that there would be plenty of work in that area. I wanted to get into the trades. And that was just the first one that I thought of. So I really didn't have Melissa's dad had done plumbing. So I guess I had been around it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I still didn't really know the difference between a hammer and a channel lock or anything like that. I was working in a hospital in Illinois.
You do know that sometimes they're the same.
They can be.
They can be
especially,
the same.
Yep, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
You can use a channel lock for a hammer, but it's
can't use a hammer for a channel lock
unless you grab the claw end and you can get into you can do a little bit of a twist with the claw, but it has to be a very specific circumstance.
So what you have to understand is being on this show carries great responsibility.
Okay.
So now that this has been recorded, and by the time this has been listened to after it's been launched, there's at least a dozen plumbers who are now out on workers' comp because they tried to use a hammer as channel locks just to see if it could be done.
Well, I mean,
you have to be careful when you wield the power of this microphone, Joe.
But it also may be an instance where I got a plumber out of a very sticky situation when it worked.
Of all the ways plumbers get out of sticky situations with hammers, that's probably the least likely to get them out of a sticky situation.
That's true.
Right?
I would agree.
Okay.
That's fair.
What do you love about plumbing?
What I love about plumbing, I mean, it's definitely provided a good life for our family, but probably if I had to say the thing I love about plumbing is even though they say all you need to know is, poop goes downhill, paydays on Friday, don't chew your fingernails, you really do learn.
What about cold's on the right, hot's on the left? Is that optional? Is that a
Well, it
preference?
depends, because if it's under a vanity, you can always switch to the supply lines. So, I mean, it is technically the right way.
Is that a
but,
plumber practical joke? You
mean-
can do that on somebody? Yeah, okay, I get you.
So, but I would say the thing I love about plumbing is it encompasses a lot of different skill sets to be able to do it correctly, and it does take some practical knowledge, but you also have to understand how things work and pressures and all of that. So it's just a broad range that challenges it always challenged me, and maybe that's because I'm easily challenged. I don't know, but
No, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm going to show you something here. So time out for a second. Okay. But we're still doing the podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast's not off.
yeah.
But I want to show you what I deal with. Alex, what is significant in recent movie history about Aurora, Illinois? Aurora, Illinois. Is it Illinois or Illinois?
Illinois. Never pronounced
Aurora,
this.
Illinois.
It's like saying Wyoming.
What? See, this is what I have to deal with, Joe. Melissa, do you see what I deal with?
Even
Alex.
I barely watched movies.
Wayne's
even I
World.
know.
Wayne's World. Aurora, Illinois. Public access. It's in the last 30-ish years. That's recent.
When's the last time Wayne's World was even a skit?
I don't know. The last time it came on TV. But see, this is what I deal with Alex. The pop culture thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what you guys may not know about Alex, and I mention it as often as I can, giant Star Trek nerd. And I'm going to go further. Star Trek expert.
Oh.
Would you classify yourself as an expert, Alex? Very unshaky, sure, he says.
Yeah.
But I would say he's an expert.
Okay.
So, okay, game on. That's what I have to deal with. You understand?
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. All right. So, of course, this podcast is normally for in-home sales and service professionals. Technicians, salespeople, selling technicians, whatever you want to call them. And so having an owner on, people might be going, oh, well, Joe's an owner. He's going to say owner stuff and all this kind of stuff. And so I called it pulling back the curtain because a lot of people that listen to this podcast maybe don't have a perspective of ownership because either they haven't asked or they haven't been curious, or maybe where they work hasn't shared it with them. And certainly we're not doing anything to undermine any owners out there, but I'm going to ask you some questions about being an owner, and I want you to answer specifically about your business and your technicians. We're not going to generalize every technician because not every technician's work for you, right?
Right.
You have a very unique market, as everybody has a unique market, but 80% of everything's the same, right? So I'm going to ask you some questions about just being an owner and how you relate to technicians and things like that, and we'll just talk about it.
Yeah. Fair.
All right. So I've prepared some questions.
I see. I'm glad.
Okay. What, as an owner, knowing what you know, first of all, your name is on everything. You and your family have all the risk for being in business, right?
Yes.
Okay. So knowing that, and that's both reputational and financial, right?
Correct.
So tell me what a great technician looks like to you. And we're going to use the word technician to include electricians and plumbers and HVAC techs. Okay, so we're not favoring HVAC techs by using technicians.
Mm-hmm.
But what does a great technician look like to you? And obviously physical appearance if you want to talk about it, but just what is a great technician?
Yeah. Well, a great technician, I would say first and foremost would be someone that has a desire to become more engaged as far as like what they're doing. Like a great technician is going to be somebody who definitely understands what they're doing. Like they know the skill, they can fix the thing or they can diagnose the thing, but they want to know a little bit. They're always wanting to know more about it. So they're smart. They want to always get better at their skill or their trade. So they're never to a point where they're like, well, I know everything about something. They have some humility, but at the same time, they know that they know a lot about something. So they're able to have that as a piece of it. But boiled down at the end of the day, I think a great technician is somebody who just genuinely cares about what they're doing in relation to how the customer is treated and how the company's reflected to the customer by what they're doing. So they have some sense of like of caring deeper than just going in and finding what's wrong, fixing it, and moving on.
Would you say there's a book called The Ideal Team Player? Alex, will you look that up and see who wrote that? The Ideal Team Player. I think it was Patrick Lencioni, but I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in this book, The Ideal Team Player, the author says they want someone who's humble, hungry, and smart.
Those are three of our core values: hungry, humble, smart.
Okay. Is that where it came from, that book?
I don't know. I think I heard it
maybe
somewhere.
The guy who wrote the book,
I didn't read the book,
heard it from you.
He may have, because
he might have been.
Technicians have to practice and understand what our core values are, and we even we go through.
Well, tell me about what are your core values?
Calm, confident, supportive, hungry, humble, smart, and profitable.
Okay, I like it. What'd you find out, Alex? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe I said the wrong name, but yeah, that's the one. Ideal Team Player. Okay, that's awesome. And why do you have core values?
I think maybe to help me answer your question about what is a good technician, because people are having a bad day generally. We want somebody who can bring to the customer a sense of calm. So we don't want to have somebody that goes into the home and things are going sideways and the water's leaking or the heat's not on or the power's out or whatever it might be. And we want a technician to be able to go into the home and not be panicking themselves, no matter what is happening. So I think that's a great value of a technician, is to be able to walk into a space and it kind of goes hand in hand with the confident piece as well, where it's like there's a storm in the customer's life.
Sure.
For some reason.
Most of the time when we go out.
Right. I mean, they didn't wake up and be like, oh, hey, I'm so glad I can call the plumber today or whatever. So they're having a bad day already. So to have somebody come in and they're panicked because there's water coming down and they don't know if it's ever going to stop and it's flooding the basement, or it's going to ruin everything in the house, or it's cold, whatever. We want to have a technician who can come in, help the customer, like take a breath, say, okay, Mrs. Jones, it's going to be okay. We're going to figure this out for you today, and help them bring their anxiety level down a couple notches by them being calm themselves. I know I get in a situation sometimes where it's like panic mode, and like we started talking, it's like I try to just always have that same level of excitement, and you can see it on my face at all times. So that's one piece. The confident part is definitely, we not only want the customer to feel comfortable and calm with our technician, but we also want the technician to know what they're doing and be able to communicate. When you walk in, you can be like, hey, I know how to handle this situation. We're going to take care of this for you today. And be able to communicate that just with body language, words, the presence of the technician being around that customer, so that they become confident as well. So we want to translate from technician's confident that at the very least he can get the water shut off today. Might not be able to fix the thing or get the heat back on or whatever, but at the very least we're going to be able to bring this to a situation where it's not causing more harm. So they have that. Calm, confident, supportive. We want to make sure that our technicians are also standing with the customer along the way, because this kind of gets back to the settling the anxieties piece of your guys' program with the press play, is we want to settle those anxieties so that, again, they're comfortable and all of that, but that they know that we're not just going to do something and then leave them and not give them any opportunity to grow from there. And so there's that aspect of it. The hungry, humble, smart piece is, somebody who's always wanting to do more, learn more. But more than anything, I think on the hungry side is not giving up, like having some tenacity. Like, okay, this is a hard situation to figure out, but we're going to figure it out, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Right.
So, and then smart, of course, we have our guys train with you and with through your program every week. We have training. We have support for them to be able to learn and get better at not only communicating, but also their technical skills and all of that. So we want guys that don't come in and think, well, I know it all. And when we're doing training, we want somebody who's actually paying attention and engaged in the training, which you do a pretty good job of getting the guys engaged. I have to say, there's definitely the guys have some anxiety because of what you might ask them to say or do during the training. But at the end of the training, every week, so as long as we've been doing it, there's definitely like oh, okay, yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way, or they really are trying to come in and take on the challenge or whatever it might be for that week. And I think that's something that I really appreciate about our technicians in our shop, is that they take it seriously, and the way you engage with them every week, they really respond to it and see it as, it's not just, oh boy, here we are, we're going to watch this guy, he's in a studio somewhere thousands of miles away, even though he ended up 10 miles away from you.
As the crow flies, it's probably more like 7, just so you know.
Or closer, yeah. So,
well, I will say this about your team is, I filled in for the previous coach you had a couple of times, and every time I did, it was a fun group to do. So I can tell the culture. Typically, when I get on with a group for the first time, I can tell the culture of the business usually. Is it a fun-loving culture? Is it an emotionally safe culture? Is it a culture that promotes people taking an intellectual risk by speaking up and being wrong? Is it okay to do that? And your guys have always been that way. And I want them to feel like, I don't know what Chris is going to ask me to do, but it's going to be safe and it's going to be okay, and I'm probably going to learn from it.
Yeah.
And I want to push back, and I want them to push back on me, because ultimately, I've said this a gazillion times over my career, if I cannot change the technician's mind about things, I cannot change their activity about those things. And a lot of times changing their mind is just psychological. And it's not through manipulation or anything. It's through persuasion. It's through all those things. Just like a customer who you want to do what you're recommending because you know it's best for them. It's the same thing. So I appreciate you saying that. One you haven't touched on, and I want to mention this. So if you're a technician out there listening to this, notice we've talked now for 29 minutes, and probably the last 20 minutes we've been talking about this one question. And the only time you've said anything about money is when you said in your core values, profitable is one of them, but we haven't talked about money at all. So if you're out there as a technician, understand Joe is a great guy, he owns a great company, but Joe is like most business owners. This is not like, oh, Joe is the superstar guy. And now, I'm not trying to beat you down on that at all. I think you're a great guy and you run a great business. But what I want the technicians to hear is that most business owners are like you, and they want what's best for their customer and their team and their company equally.
Yes.
It's like, which one of your kids do you love the most? Don't say Aiden, because I don't want him to get a big head. But which one of your kids do you love? Well, you love them all the same, but it's slightly differently, right?
Yeah.
And so who do you want the best for from your business? Well, the company, the customer, and my technicians. Slightly different for each one, the reason or what good is. But this is the way most business owners are. Most business owners care about their people, and profitability is not, it's a must because of the risk they take. You're taking a risk. Your reputation financially, you're taking a risk. You deserve a fair return on that. That's profitability, right? Some owners, they abuse it and flaunt it and all these kind of, that's not what we're talking about here. But I just wanted to point that out. We're 20-some minutes into this, we're 30 minutes into this conversation, but 20-some minutes into just this topic. But hey, let's call BS for a second and talk about the money. What does profitable mean?
Well, profitable is everything you're saying, that, yeah, we do want the company to make money. At the end of the day, it's a business. You know, it's not a charity, even though we do charitable things.
Both seen and unseen charitable
both seen
things.
And unseen that have an impact community and all those kinds of things. But when I say profitable, it still isn't. It isn't so much from the company's perspective as it is also for the technician. We want technicians that want to make money. We want them to have a good home, stable relationships. We want them to have the things they need financially, emotionally, all of that. So we want it to be profitable for the technician so that they have a good experience, and when I talk about being profitable, it's also just like time and energy invested should have a return, and that isn't always money. So I think it's good for the technician to be profitable in that sense, and then of course we want to make money. We want it to be profitable for the customer too, so they should be getting more value than what they're paying for. So that's the goal. At the end, on the profitability side for the customer is also this should be something that they spent money on, something that trades off for benefit to their life, whether it be comfort, peace of mind, safety, all of that. And then of course the company, we need to be profitable because that's what helps to keep the wheels on the bus turning. So it's not all about being profitable just from a dollars and cents perspective, but that is also a piece of it.
Okay. So what is something you feel like technicians should hear from an owner that they may not hear?
Something that a technician should hear from an owner. I would say that we do, or I do, and other owners of companies that I talk to, we do understand that what we're doing is not easy, and that we do realize that sometimes what we're asking people to do, no one wants to do. So, but at the same time, we do want to help support people when they're doing those things. So when we have when we have technicians, like I think we do at our shop, that put in the effort and the energy, to help make life better for someone else on the team, that has a ripple effect. So like if somebody wants, I've always heard it said, if you want to get something, the best way to get what you want is to help other people get what they want, kind of a thing. So when we put that into the mix, I would say to technicians whenever I could is make someone else's life easier. Your life is going to get made easier, whether that's the guy riding with you, or you're the apprentice and you're helping the journeyman. Get in and make his life easy. Your life will be easier as a result, even though it may not in the moment feel that way. Yeah. It does get that way. And I don't know about everyone, but most of the owners I know do care about what's going on outside of work. And we do realize that everybody has life going on. So just tell us about it and help us understand, hey, I woke up this morning and I, the dog puked all over the floor and my kids are late, they missed the school bus, and, all of those kinds of things. Just rather than just call in and tell us you're sick or do something at work and just being angry. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it exactly, other than like we do realize that everybody's going through things and that it impacts how we interact with each other. And if you can help us understand that a little bit, then sometimes that gets rid of the frustration and the misunderstanding between people. So just communicate a little bit.
Clarity.
Yeah. So
it's clarity. Okay. So last question. What do you want technicians to do more of, but you might have a hard time asking or saying it?
I want them to do more of. That's a good question.
Yes.
Because we always say, do more faster. That's the saying, but that's not what I'm saying. I would say if I could tell people to do more of, I would say, pay attention to what's going on in your home, in your own home, and figure out a way, whether it be talking to someone or connecting with a group or something like that, but whatever you do, find out and figure out a way to make sure that your home life is solid and your relationships are good and you're not living in a stressed state all of the time, because it impacts your work, it impacts your productivity, your own mental health and all that kind of stuff. I think that's just something that I've seen across the trades over the last 50 years, however long it's
50 years.
50 years. Yeah. And it's probably true for everybody, but it seems like guys in the trades, myself included, make sure home is tight, and I think life's going to be way better for you professionally, every way around.
And you feel like that owners should obviously give the grace for that to happen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the challenge is, like I said, is sometimes we don't know.
Yeah.
You come into work and it's the old stereotype of, you ask a technician how his day's going, and we always, what do we say? living the dream, another day in paradise.
Yeah.
You know, and not to say that everybody needs to get around in a circle and you know, give hugs and sing Kumbaya or anything. But I mean, if you're really having a hard time, talk to somebody about it. And if you don't want to talk to anybody about it, just, you know, work it out so that things are good at home. We understand that life happens, and just like our customers, they're having a bad day. We're there to help make that day better. And I have to believe that owners all around the country want their technicians' life to be better, because it benefits everybody.
I think most do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to get off your chest about technicians?
Well, you know, if my technicians are listening to this, and
why wouldn't they be?
Of course they will be, because you tell them every week, hey, by the way, I do have this podcast. I would tell them, fill out the dang checklist.
Yeah, we just did a series of podcasts on the checklist. Yes, we did. And that's a good one, too. I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel that way. It's a game changer. It really is. Okay, well, we'll call this part 1. We're going to switch gears and we'll do a part 2. Okay? But in the meantime, if you want to reach me, 254-733-7109 or Chris at servextra.com. Go to our website, www.servextra.com. Check out previous episodes of the podcast, lots of blogs, lots of free stuff to download, no strings attached. Also, check the dates of our next workshops coming up for technicians and sales, and any other announcements we have we'll put there with dates and details. In the meantime, I don't know if Joe knows the answer to this question. I hope he does, but he might not.
Oh.
Joe, do you know what we do here at Service Excellence? We turn learning into earning. All right. Bye, everybody.